one of the things that I think about is that, we're always really aware of all of the different problems that exist in this world. And we're always sort of cognizant of, that there is sort of shortfalls and things. And I am painfully aware, I think about this all the time. If you think that there's a problem that exists, why not actually change it and be part of that particular change? And, I think about all of the shortfalls that exist. For example, um, you know, within the academic game, within research, all of that kind of stuff. And I think, well, we know these problems exist. We can either sit there and just say, hey, just be part of the problem and, you know, actually contribute to the problem by sort of acknowledging it and say, hey, um, in kind of a Machiavellian sense, that you just kind of do things to get ahead. Or you can sit there and say, these problems exist. How do we actually change this? What does that look like? What can we do to make a positive change? What is it in our life that we can actually do? Um, I think about the moments that I've sort of felt the worst in my own life is because I've felt out of control, and I've felt that there isn't anything that I could possibly do. And it wasn't until I sort of changed this. I said, you know what? Nuts to this. I'm actually going to make a positive change in my life, and it's only going to start in my life. It's the only thing that I could do is to make this change in my life. And by doing that, perhaps other things will change around me. And that's kind of what happened with the Reciprocity Project. I just got fed up. And there's numerous moments along the way I just get fed up with dealing with other people and waiting for them to come help. And, that sort of thinking that there is a knight that will come in a shining armor and change things. And that sort of waiting, when you're waiting to sort of think that something is going to happen, it never happens. And this is an easy thing to think about. And I see this all the time, absolutely all the time. Because I had this discussion with my son a few days ago, and he was like, well, you never showed me how to do this thing. And then I kind of snapped a little bit, and I was like, well, if you're waiting for somebody to help show you how to do this thing, you're never going to accomplish a lot in your life. And I hope he thought about that and it resonated with him, because that's ultimate truth, that you cannot wait for other people to fix things in your own life. You have to be that change. And that change is often just a shift in your perspective where you just say, to heck with this. I'm not waiting for somebody. I'm not going to do something. I'm not going to sort of wait until somebody comes and changes something in my life, because that's never going to happen. And, you sort of see these moments that happen all the time, whether it is somebody that's going through, a bad relationship, or any number of different things, bad business deals. And once you sort of absorb this and you think about it and you say, hey, it's entirely up to me and my perspective and how I deal with things. And it's really ultimately my fault that I'm dealing with things and how I'm dealing with it. Um, some things really start to change. And either you sort of accept your environment, you accept what you're doing, or you say, that's this. I'm going to make this positive change and jump into it and change who I am and what I'm about and start taking that seriously. And I think for me, that's what this is all about. The whole Reciprocity Project is acknowledging and thinking about, I can't necessarily change other people, but I can certainly document how I think about things. And I can certainly be a positive change, which is being open about that. And as well, building a platform where I'm part of this. solving the problem rather than waiting until somebody else does it, because nobody else is going to do it. So tough luck. I'll be the one that does it, starts and makes these changes. And yes, it's a risk. And yes, I can lose out a whole bunch of money and all of that kind of stuff. But tough luck. I'm going to do it anyways. Just watch me.